Hey guys, welcome to this quick update on Tropical Storm Bertha, which has now made landfall in on the border between Mississippi and Louisiana, and Hurricane Fausto, which is now weakening but could intensify again, and it was expected to become a major hurricane, and is no longer expected to become a major hurricane or high in Category 1, high in Category 2, should I say, like it was a couple of days ago. So, let's quickly get into the update. I don't want to bore you guys. So, Bertha right now, it has winds as of 4 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Wednesday, July 22nd, advisory 14. Maximum sustained winds is 40 knots, which is 45 miles an hour. Minimum central pressure is 1,000 millibars, located at 29.8 degrees north and 89.8 degrees west. Movement is west at 6 knots, which is 7 miles an hour. This is the track for the storm. It has currently made landfall in Louisiana. I did say the border of Louisiana because if you see here, technically the tropical storm watches and warnings and the tropical storm wind field is still over Mississippi a little bit. That's why I said on the Louisiana and Mississippi border. So I will show you the tropical storm warnings and watches for this system, which will be the public advisory. So the National Hurricane Center, this is what they're extending warnings. The tropical storm warning has been extended westward to Cameron, Louisiana. Tropical storm warning is in effect for Alabama and Florida border to Cameron, Louisiana, metropolitan New Orleans, and Lake Pontchartrain. Tropical storm watch is in effect for west of Cameron, Louisiana, to Sargent, Texas. Late Burpass. Um, that's the tropical storm watches and warnings. Expected rainfall is around about 1 to 3 feet, or 1 to 3 inches of storm surge. Well, not storm surge, rainfall, should I say. My bad. Um, Storm surge, yes, 1 to 3 inches. Rainfall, um, if I can find it. Rainfall, Bertha is expected to produce total amounts of rainfall of 1 to 4 inches, with isolated higher totals of around 6 inches through Friday, technically. So that's Bertha for you. We move on to Hurricane Fausto, which has winds of 80 miles an hour, a pressure of 983 millibars, moving west at 12 miles an hour, located at 17.2 degrees north, 122.0 degrees west. This is the forecast advisory for Fausto. So, I need a discussion of the forecast advisory, my bad guys, sorry. They say here that hasn't changed in intensity in the past several hours, but due to dry air, which has infiltrated into the system, they did say it has a partial inner core, but due to dry air intrusion, it's a little raggy in its appearance, which is what it looks like now. It is slowly moving west-northwestward at 6 knots. Fausto has a day or two left to strengthen, but given the dry air in the nearby environment, modest intensification seems likely, not rapid anymore. And they are giving it 80 miles an they're giving it 80 miles an hour, 85, 85, 85 for the next three advisories, and then 80 again, 75, 75, and then by 120 hours, which will be on the 7 day mark, which will be on the 27th, it'll be back down to a tropical storm again, which will be brilliant news. I will show you. Well, obviously, I'll quickly show you the El Nino, guys. Now, this is the El Nino, by the way. Looking very powerful indeed. This could be the strongest El Nino we could ever see in recorded history. Probably 3 degrees above the long-term average, maybe even getting to 4 degrees above the long-term average. It depends how strong it gets. The stronger it gets, the more unfavorable the Atlantic will get. And it currently right now, the Atlantic is very unfavorable, superbly unfavorable at the moment. The only favorable basins are the Western Pacific, the CPAC, and the Eastern Pacific. I will go in more in depth on a video talking about the El Nino Southern Oscillation and what it does to the Atlantic, the El Nino, and what it does to the Atlantic, what it does for the East Pac, the CPAC, and the West Pac. So that will be probably out on the second week of August because I'm going to have to edit it and all that, and that will take me ages. But also have some satellite imagery updates coming out and satellite imagery animations coming out. So stay tuned for that on Bavi, Michaela, and Maysak and Jangmi. So they will be out in the next 3-4 weeks. So stay tuned for that. But moving on, current storms. Obviously, we've got Bertha. Don't really need to look at Bertha or Fausto because we'll get to them. 92W, which is looking pretty decent. Pretty decent indeed. They are expecting it to hit the Batanes Islands, and then Hong Kong, and then move over China and die over mainland China. But then obviously 93W is probably going to be the strongest out of both of them. But 93W looks a bit worse for wear at the moment, but it is moving towards the west. So it's very, very far west, like stupidly far west. It's like near the CPAC. That's how far west this system is. So it has time to intensify and it has time to organize, and whether it becomes a Cat 4, whether it becomes a Cat 5, whether it becomes a typhoon, we don't know yet because it hasn't formed. The model ones are going absolutely crazy on these two systems. I will just show you the model ones. The GFS is on drugs. Trust me. But I'll show you the Atlantic first. Obviously, they have Bertha, which is making landfall, just dying. They have that area of interest. Oh yeah, guys, I forgot to show you. There was an area of interest behind Fausto, which I forgot to show you guys. There's one in the CPAC as well. You see, you got Fausto here, and you got this area here, which is 40 and 90, which could be our first major hurricane in the Eastern Pacific. Now, I'm going to say that it's going to have a massive burst in it. You watch. It's just cool. I predicted Fausto to become a major hurricane before it formed. Obviously, massive burst. It never did. Obviously, we got one here. This is 2, which is well south of Hawaii, a trough of low pressure located well south of the Hawaiian Islands. It's reducing these open showers and thunderstorms. Environmental conditions appear conducive for some gradual development of the system. A tropical depression could form over the weekend or early next week, while the system moves slowly westward to northwestward. The system forecasted to move into the Western Pacific Basin on Sunday. So this system doesn't form in the CPAC, it probably most likely will 100% definitely form in the West Pac, because the West Pac everything that just moves into the CPAC. Like, remember Ioke, for example. Ioke formed in the CPAC, which was just stupidly strong, by the way. 180 miles an hour in the CPAC. The strongest storm in the Central Pacific. The strongest storm, pretty much, in the CPAC. And then it had, I think it had like two or three Cat 5 peaks. So it had its strongest peak. It had one. It had its strongest peak in the CPAC, and then it peaked again at 180 in the Westpac, and then it weakened and it to a Cat 4, and then it became a Cat 5 again, 160, 165-ish, I think, somewhere around that area. And then obviously it just eventually died as it headed out towards the open ocean. But yeah, Io was a very powerful storm, and that was in an El Nino year, by the way, 2006. It's not as strong as this though. The El Nino was like weak. It was like a very weak to like very moderate, like slightly moderate El Nino. This El Nino now has beaten 2006's El Nino, and this El Nino will beat 2023's El Nino. This El Nino will beat 2015's El Nino, and this is El Nino will beat 1997's El Nino. It's just the way that it has formed, and just the amount of how much ocean heat content has just stored, no, not stored, stored in that part of the region, and I think by September, October, November, you're going to see at least 3 degrees, maybe 4 degrees above the long-term average in that area. Which, if that happens, it'll be one of the strongest, if not the strongest, El Nino ever recorded, ever, since history has begun, basically. So obviously that was these two systems. That system here, disturbance nine, this system here. Watch out for this system, as this could be a major hurricane. Disturbance number one. Watch out for it. It could be a major hurricane in the next week. So stay tuned. It could form at the end of this week. Um, what was it? Oh yeah. Model ones. So obviously in the East Pack you see that system there. Obviously nothing in the Atlantic whatsoever, which is obviously expected. There's a little area of spin in the MDR near the Cape Verde Islands or the Cabo Verde Islands, but obviously that's not really going to happen. And you can expect it for this time of year, to be fair, because in August, late July, early August is where you start seeing spins in the MDR. So just watch out for the MDR because we're going to have a couple of spin ups this year. Um, Western Pacific now, the West Pack. Just watch. Right, that system there, 986 millibars, 982, 970, 979 millibars, right? Makes landfall just to the east of Hong Kong, if not probably right over Hong Kong. And then that area right there, you got another area here, and you got an area here. But watch out for the area. I will go back on the previous model on the 12Z model one because the 18Z model one, the full model one hasn't came out yet. So I'll go back on the 12Z model one. Look at the 12Z model one for 92W. Look how strong 92W gets. I believe 935 millibars, July 30th, which is a Friday. That is Cat 4 equivalent. Not quite super typhoon, but that is Cat 4 equivalent typhoon in the West Pack. And you see, it's have you seen the pattern? Most of the strong storms, right, have formed in that area. Bavi, Maysac, and now if this one does come true, this one will form in that area as well. The next named storm, I don't know what the next, I don't know what the next named storm is off by heart, but this Westpac season has started off as a good start. It's not, there's no signs of slowing down. There's going to be a lot more activity, a lot more activity. So yeah, that's the model 11th, and then obviously it weakens, and then there's some more areas of storms that do try and form, and then there's like a 970 millibar storm that tries to form after that on August 7th. It's the train of those storms. It kind of reminds me of 1997, but a lot of the storms a lot of the storms are weaker than what they were in 1997. So we have a storm train, but obviously we're not going to see them like we've seen with Gene and all that, and like those very very strong storms. Those like 4 or 5 simultaneous cat fires we saw in 1997. We're not going to see that kind of pattern. That was just ridiculous. But we could see a storm train which could produce probably what another 2 cat fires maybe. Could produce a couple of typhoons, maybe a couple of cat threes, maybe a couple of cat fours, maybe a lot more tropical storms. So yep. Anyway, guys, don't forget to like, love, caress my channel. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, comments. Trying to get to 130 subscribers by October. So stay tuned for that. I think we could reach 200 this year easily. I think this channel has done really well over the past 4 years, which I didn't think it would do this well, to be fair, and it's all thanks to you guys. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate you guys every bit. I don't do this for the views. I don't do this for the subscribers. I do this to put my passion out on YouTube to keep people safe from these hurricanes and typhoons and cyclones and weather-related content. If you guys want me to do more of the UK weather, let me know down in the comments below, and I will do that. And if you want me to do the US weather, I will try and do it, but the US weather is a lot more complicated than what ours is. So if I can't do it, then don't get mad. I'm sorry. I'm just not. I just can't do US weather. I can do UK weather and Europe weather, but I just can't do US weather. I don't know why. I just can't do it. So let me teach myself how to do US weather, and then I'll do it. So anyway, stay safe. Love you all. See you soon, and I will see you in the next update, which probably will be tomorrow or which will probably be the 23rd or the 24th. So stay tuned. Love you all. See you soon. Subscribe, like, comment, and as always, peace out and stay safe. And goodbye from the Declan Stormers team, and goodbye.